male at birth from competing in girls' sports. Last week, the NCAA issued the same notice as it relates to women's sports and college athletics. President Donald Trump has issued multiple executive orders this month, including rescinding last year's Title IX updates, prompting the policy changes. For Civic Media News, I'm Jimmy Kuska.
The policy decision by the WIAA is effective immediately. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
The NBA suspends a Bucks player. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The NBA has suspended the Bucks' Bobby Portis Jr. for 25 games using a non-approved painkiller. According to his agent, Portis thought he was taking an approved painkiller, Toradol, that he'd used in the past for pain and inflammation. Instead, an assistant of his gave him a prescription for Tramadol, which is no longer approved by the league. Just yesterday, Portis meeting with reporters. The Bucks have 29 games remaining.
You know, not only play your best basketball towards the end of the year, but you want to peak at the right time. You want guys feeling good. You want guys shooting the basketball at the right time. You want guys knowing what their assignments is on a nightly basis at the right time. So, unfortunately for us, we had injuries. Injuries are a part of the game.
The Bucks host the Clippers tonight at Fiserv Forum. Giannis Antetokounmpo questionable with that calf injury, participating in practice yesterday.
I'm okay. I'm 100%. I don't know. We'll see. But I was able to go through practice. It felt good. But we'll see. We'll see them from 100%. I don't know yet.
With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly clear and cold tonight, a low near zero. Sunny and milder tomorrow, a high in the low 20s. Continued warming for the weekend with a partly sunny sky. Highs in the mid-20s Saturday, mid-30s Sunday. Currently it's 26.
Matt Nair on air.
Oh, Randy Manor is here.
What can you do about this? Focus on what you can impact. Find the courage to speak up to your elected official. If you are silent, then your elected official at the local, state, or federal level will think you completely agree with whatever it is you're doing.
Silence equals acceptance.
Correct.
Matt Nair on air. Weekdays 10 till noon on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. The Todd Alba Show.
Trevey Olson joins us.
There's a hockey game tomorrow night between Canada and the U.S. Everywhere up in Canada when they were playing the game, the U.S. was being booed. Imagine how you would feel if your neighbor were constantly saying, I'm taking your backyard. You would find that very serious. That's what's happening around the world. We are going to have no friends. Period.
That is so well put.
And that matters.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Rational Revolution with Mark Becker.
Joining the revolution this week, we've got Wisdem's chairman, Ben Wickler. Be sure to tune in.
Rational Revolution. Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who never leaves the house without wearing a cup, Pete Schwaba.
We got rid of that one. Welcome to Nite Lite, ladies and gentlemen. Only half the things you hear on those lead-in statements are true.
Correction, it's 100% all true.
How do you know? First of all, you would never know that. We are not that close. That is the
cup check.
That is the biggest. I like that thing you're wearing there, Conrad.
The flannel?
It's not even a flannel. That's like a half parka, half. That looks hardy, dude.
Yeah, thanks.
You're gonna need that next. It's supposed to get cold next week, or no? It's supposed to get. It's supposed to be nice, actually, right?
I hope. I don't like the news when it's getting colder. So
you might have to retire that. And how happy would you be?
I got a lighter flannel I can wear.
I'm sure you do. If Jimmy Pardo were here, he'd be making fun of that flannel right now. He'd call it part of the Tim Walz collection. Like, I'm just kidding. That's a sharp looking. I like that.
Yeah,
it's very warm, very cozy. You see how I did that? I tried to segue the discussion off the fact that you thought you knew I was wearing a cup. So,
well, cup check.
Cup check. Is that what it's called? You walk around and like hit guys there? Is that how that works?
That was it.
That's so horrible. Who would do that? High school kids.
I heard I heard coaches would do that back in the day. Or maybe I'm just.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. There's so much that was weird that happened back then that now would never be. Did you have coaches like that all of a sudden, like, you'd be in the shower and all of a sudden they happen to just come into the locker room at about that time?
Can't say I had.
Okay, me neither.
No.
Just taking a poll. All right. Hey, welcome to Nightlight. We're going to get all our risque talk out of the way so we can segue into a nice, wholesome show that we have planned tonight. We got a lot of fun stuff on the agenda tonight. Great to have you with us wherever you're joining us from in Wisconsin. Hope you had a great day and hope that on this Thursday, the Christmas Eve of weekdays, that we can make your day a little better, or, a little, like, if you had a great day. Do you think there have been days that people just had a horrible day and then they hear us and it gets worse? I'm not trying to brag, but I really hope, I don't see how that ever could happen. Because even if you don't like some of the clips we pull or some of the guests, you're not going to go, God, I just want to punch that Pete Schwaba in the throat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think I don't think we made anyone's day worse since we've been on the air.
Well, let's try to make it better. Welcome to Nightlight. I am Pete Schwaba. That is the voice of Conrad riding shotgun as usual. Got a great show tonight. It is Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. That means tonight we do our popcorn pick of the week at 6:35. And our pal, Norm Kopesky, will be here. He owns, is one of the co-owners of Appleton Cigar, a proud, I hope proud, sponsor of Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Great to have Norm on the show. I've been trying to get him on the show since we closed that deal. And it's great to have him on board as a sponsor and as a guest because Norm is a lot of fun to talk to. So we will talk some cigars. We'll talk popcorn pick of the week with Norm. That's at 6:35. And then at 7:20 or 7:35, I kind of said to our guest at 7:35, who's Tim Cody. He's the president of the Veterans Council here in the Fox Valley. I said, Tim, if you want to come by at 7:20, since you're coming by in person, come by a little early and we'll hang out. And he said yes, but I said no pressure. So how would you take that?
I think he'll be here at 7:20.
He's a military guy. My guess is he'll be here pronto with hospital corners at 7:20.
I think he'll be here at 7 even before.
He'll probably be here at 7. And he'll do some push-ups. Tim's a great guy. We've had him on the show before, and he's got a big event he wants to talk to us about, and we're happy to help him promote it because it's for a great cause. And he comes by here in the studio at 7:20. As I mentioned, it's a popcorn pick of the week. And folks, in just a few minutes, I know this show primarily focuses on entertainment, movies, TV, comedy, music, some sports, fun Wisconsin stuff. But once in a while, we obtain, I'm not like comparing us to Vice or one of these hard-hitting news shows, but we were able to obtain audio footage from a Philadelphia City Council meeting. And you think this should make you happy that you live where you live here in the Midwest, especially in Green Bay. We have great people in this area, great fans in Wisconsin. Philly fans have a terrible reputation. And the city council had to deal with how are they going to put together a parade that would not embarrass the city? Because there have been terrible things that have happened in Philadelphia in previous parades. Families have been puked on, horses have been punched, public urinating like nobody's business, vomiting, other bodily fluids I don't even think I'm allowed to say on the air, have all happened at Philadelphia parades and sporting events. We obtained an audio copy of a city council meeting where they are trying to curb bad behavior the night before the parade, which took place 1 week ago today. So we will play that in just a few minutes. That's at 6:20. We will have that. We'll have that audio ready. Our audio editors are putting the final touches on it as we speak. It's quite a budget we have here. We have all these audio editors.
Your audio editor, meaning me.
That's good stuff. And that's it. And then, today, folks, is it's not National Animal Day. What is it? It's National Love Your Pet Day.
Yeah.
And again, that's kind of like the same question I asked before. Are there any people that have pets that hate their pets? You just get rid of them, right? You give them to a farm or someone else. Everyone loves their pet, right?
Well, taking to the farm doesn't always mean the same thing,
Oh, that's like where you put pets down?
And then they say, well, we had to take him to the farm.
Oh, God, I think my dad did that. Because we had a dog that had 3 legs, and it was severely inbred, I think, and it would just sit there. It would just sit there and watch my dad watch TV. And it would look at him and go, roof, 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 all effing Nite. And it was just a lovable but weird dog. So they actually did take that dog to a farm, though. And I know it went to a farm and it was not put down because even though it had 3 legs, it could like run like the wind. I know that sounds crazy, and that's what it did on the farm. And my dad used to visit the dog. The dog's name was Patty because he was an Irish boy dog. And he missed him a lot, even though he was annoying. It was a very sweet story. People love their pets. You had a pet? Did you have one growing up?
I had 2 cats.
Oh, okay.
And almost a dog.
Almost a dog. How does that happen?
Well, my family, my brother, my mom, and my dad, we went out to Fond du Lac during this time, and we found this dog we really liked. We said, all right, tomorrow we're going to come back and get this dog. Well, guess what happened? When we left and
Somebody
came back,
else grab it.
Someone got the dog before us. Yep.
You didn't give him like a sawbuck or something to hold the dog for you? Or?
My dad, I think, said, can you hold it,
Yeah.
And they said we can't do that or something like that. So
why?
I don't
can't
know.
you do that?
We said we want the dog. We have to. I forget why we didn't do it that day, but it's coming back to next one. I think I forget how old I think I was like maybe like 11 or something around there. But
in defense of the dog owner, that does sound a little bit shady. Like, listen, we really want the dog. We can't take it today though.
I
mean? It's like when you're booking a
remember.
hotel. Hey, I'm going to call you back. They know you're not calling back.
Dad, if you want to text in and just explain why we didn't get the dog.
Steve,
that
weigh
day.
in. We need to know. It is National Love Your Pet Day. I have allergies, pet allergies. I've still loved the pets we've had. We had a bearded dragon. I loved that. If you want to text in and tell us what your pet is and why you love it, we'd love to hear that. Also, Conrad had the idea, maybe, text in. Let's just do this as the question. All right, here's our question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question. Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Question.
Questions.
What is your favorite animal movie? What is your favorite animal movie? 855-752-4842. Let us know in honor of National Pet Day. You have one, Conrad?
Well, so remember, you sent me this list of that top 10 SNL skits.
Yeah.
And I remember that the Bambi, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Bambi, was one of the funniest skits I saw. So
yeah,
I won't go with that with the movie, but my favorite skit is that one because it's like Bambi trying to kill the people that killed the mom.
Why are you being difficult? So the question is favorite animal movie or sketch?
Okay, I decided to put it was too funny. My favorite, I'd say though, growing up, I haven't watched it in a while, but Underdog.
Yeah, Underdog's great.
I love that movie.
How about Alf? Did you ever watch Alf?
Alf?
Oh, Alf was like an alien, but it was like the family pet, and they tried to pass it off like it was a dog.
I don't think I've.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of Brian from Family Guy.
Okay.
And I might say, if we include TV shows, I might say Brian from Family Guy.
Yeah.
I love Brian talking, condescendingly to Peter. That cracks me up all the time.
I forget what it's called. You know that Tim Allen movie where he turns into a dog?
I don't know what. Yeah, what was that? That's got red flags. I'm not seeing that movie. To quote Jimmy Pardo again, I'm not seeing that movie if it's playing in my
The
eyelids.
Shaggy Dog.
What's it called?
The Shaggy Dog.
That sounds horrible.
I liked it when I was growing up.
Well, as a kid, you can't.
It came
You
out in
like stuff when you're a
2006. So when I saw it, probably I was like.
So it's called Shaggy Dog,
and there's a 25% Rotten Tomato.
I would have guessed lower.
So yeah, Tim Allen is I think a lawyer in it, and then like 20 minutes into the film, something happens. I forget what it was, but he just turns into the family dog.
Yeah, we've all been.
And then everyone's like, "Where did he go?" And no one believes that he's the dog.
And he's trapped. I think Reacher drops today. The third season. Anyway, before we get sidetracked, that's our question of the day, folks. Let us know, what is your favorite animal movie or TV show or skit? We could do that too. I might say How to Train Your Dragon. Love that movie.
All three are great.
Oh, I didn't see all three. Okay.
I saw all three of them when I took the flight to Italy.
Italy, right?
And
really,
I was like, why have I not seen this more? It's so good. And they're coming out with a live action one now, June 13th. So my birthday's June 10th.
That's right.
And I'm going with my brother to see that on June 13th.
I love it.
For my birthday.
That's fantastic. Reacher does not open tonight. It opens February 27th, 1 week from tonight. Jack Reacher, where the bad guy is even bigger than him. Okay, so, folks, let us know, what is your favorite animal movie? Tell us a pet story if you want. It's International Pet Day. People love their pets. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC, or text us on the app or the stream. Just get a hold of us. It's great when you guys participate. Norm Kopeski is coming up from Appleton Cigar at 6:35 to give the popcorn pick of the week. And coming up next, our behind-the-scenes look at a Philadelphia City Council meeting where they were planning the Super Bowl parade. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I come back to the place you are. All my instincts, they return. The grand facade, so soon will burn.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Appleton Cigar Company on College Avenue has been serving the community for over 25 years. If you are a cigar aficionado looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, you need to check out Appleton Cigar, which boasts the largest selection of cigars north of Milwaukee with over 706 cigars to choose from in a walk-in humidor. The Cigar Lounge offers an impressive variety of spirits and cocktails that pair perfectly with a premium cigar. For the full experience, come to Appleton Cigar at 415 College Ave, Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. For more information, go to appletoncigar.com.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
While the teams get ready to choose their top draft pick, you can help Mino and the Mayor choose their top craft pick.
Northeast Wisconsin is home to amazing breweries, wineries, cideries, and distilleries, and we need your help picking the best.
We've drafted 10 of our favorites, but which local craft beverage creator will go to number one? That's up to you. Mino and the Mayor's top craft pick.
Get up home, I wanna drive them home. When you're feeling blue, I'm thinking just of you.
Tom in New Berlin, he's in the 414. He says, Turner and Hooch. Tom Hanks, 90-ish Rocket from Guardians Now. Rocket from Guardians Now. I don't know what that means, but I like Turner and Hooch, Tom. That's a great choice. We've got Sherry from Horicon checking in. Says, good evening. Good evening, Sherry. Great to have you with us tonight. She says, mine is Black Beauty, my whole life, and the book, too. Yeah, hard to argue with that. That's fantastic. Tom from New Berlin says, Pete, if you're not early, you're late. Was I late, Conrad?
Oh, you're actually early today.
I got here early today because we had to finish the, we had to go over the Philadelphia City Council meeting with our script, our audio editors. I actually do like that phrase, though, because if you get there right at noon and you have to be there at noon, you're kind of late because you got to settle down, got to take a deep breath. I like to think I'm on time most of the time, but I'm late sometimes. Brian from the 414, that's in Milwaukee, for those of you scoring at home, says, The Incredible Journey, 1963, Homeward Bound, 1993. You know, I've never seen that film. I hear it's great.
I haven't seen that either.
I haven't seen The Incredible Journey, but I haven't seen Homeward Bound either. Anna in the 608 says, "Hi, Pete and Conrad. My favorite pet movie is Ace Ventura: Pet Detective."
That's
of
a
course.
good one.
How could we have forgotten that one? That's a great one.
I take mine back and I put mine there now. For Ace Ventura.
Yeah, that's interesting because I was making this list that I saw online. Jaws was like number 2. That's not really pet, but it is an animal movie. And number 1 was The Lion King.
Oh,
that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Hard to argue with that one. Luann from Green Bay says, "My Dog Skip, great movie."
Yeah, that's
wow, totally forgot about that.
That was sad how it ends.
It is. And this list I had was the top 35, and My Dog Skip was not in there. That surprised me.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Thank you, Luann. All right, so we have this. Keep those texts coming, folks. Our question of the night is, what is your favorite animal movie? You can share a pet story if you have a pet. Tell us about your pet. We'll read that. That's always fun. It's International Pet Day, so let's celebrate the pets. One of our questions should be, what is the worst seltzer water flavor? And it's this garbage they call limoncello.
Is cello that's a flower, isn't it?
It's an instrument. And it tastes like a cello. It tastes like old strings touched by grubby fingers.
I'm confused about the flavor of why after lemon did you have to include something else?
Yeah. Lemon is the universal lovely flavor. You don't have to do anything. I think it's like lemon peels, maybe? I don't know. It's really terrible, and we're out of water, so I had to subject my taste buds to this. Brian from Milwaukee also says Babe from the 90s. Yes, James Cromwell, about the farmer and his pig. There's another film by a Milwaukee director named Michael Sarnowski who made the most recent Quiet Place. Day One, I think it was called, Quiet Place Day One. And he made a film called Pig, about a guy just looking for his pig, that was very well received. Got good feedback, good critics. 608 says, Where the Red Fern Grows. I've never seen that one either. These are great texts. Keep them coming, folks. Love them. Right now, we're going to segue here. We've got, as we've come to learn, folks, and I know you've heard this, there are no worse fans in professional sports than those in Philadelphia. Many of you probably saw the video that went viral about 2 months ago or 6 weeks ago of the guy who was yelling at the Packer fan, the woman all dressed in Packer garb. Their reputation is obnoxious. They're terrible. We obtained a tape of their city council meeting as they were planning the Super Bowl parade. We got it, and we're playing it here on Nite Lite. It's a world premiere, and let's hear it. It's not good, folks. Thank you, city council members, for coming in on such short notice. Now, we've got a real dilemma here with this parade right around the corner. People, our town's sports fans have such a terrible reputation, and I want this to be a rebrand for our city. Now, we know parade attendees are going to show up and act like assholes and embarrass the out of us. So what do we do to keep this to a minimum and put our best foot forward and let people know that our drunken sports fans do not represent other Philadelphians?
Sir, what if we just pleaded with everyone to act like mature adults?
That's cute. Seriously, though, I think what we need to do is try to keep certain people out of certain areas and away from the cameras where their behavior could hit national news.
Have we done enough to protect the horses? We don't want another horse getting punched repeatedly. It might be wise to keep our law enforcement officers off horseback this year.
It's a good idea, but what about the guy who celebrated a little too much and ended up dry humping police motorcycles a few years ago?
That's not fair. Sir, he just had too much to drink.
Okay. Yeah, that's the whole problem right there.
Sir, we've had a number of instances where young drunk males have vomited, oftentimes on nice suburban families. What if we cordoned off a section where if people needed to puke, they could go there and any peripheral vomit would hit other vomiters instead of nice families?
I like the way you think, but I'm not ready to condone any type of vomiting just yet.
Sir, we have met with the committee, Friends of Public Urinators, and we've asked them to please tone it down. They immediately got defensive and threatened to pee right there at that meeting.
You got to be kidding me.
Sir, we countered and said we will not supply enough porta potties. As it turns out, that was a mistake because they got belligerent, doubled down, and said that they actually prefer having no privacy. And then they threatened to eat asparagus before the parade.
Damn it. Checkmate. People, please.
What about people who just want to empty their drinks on innocent bystanders and have a laugh? They should have an area too?
Well, that's very noble, but we've only got so many city blocks, people.
We could just have all the bodily function people in one area and then have Hazmat come in after and just nuke it.
I'm not sure hazmat exists anymore, sir.
Damn it.
Sorry to be a Debbie Downer, but we're forgetting about people who just want to randomly start beating people up.
Great point. Why couldn't we have won the Super Bowl during COVID and just had a virtual parade?
Or we could just be who we are, avid sports fans who just like to dispense some bodily fluids from time to celebrate our victories.
Maybe you're right.
Yes, finally. We are number one. We are number one. We are number one.
Hey, watch it.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
That was, it's weird how, like, one of those city council people almost sounded like WGBW's Amanda Nimmer, like, with a cold. Did you get that?
I think so, yeah.
Anyway, that's horrifying stuff. We might have to play that again later. People in Philadelphia have to get their stuff together. All right, coming up next, folks, it is the Popcorn Pick of the Week with our friend Norm Kopeski from Appleton Cigar. He will be here to give you a movie pick that you can watch this weekend. We got a lot of fun stuff on the show tonight. Don't go anywhere. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW. Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Do you know how to properly merge? Merging is the February law of the month from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. When merging onto the highway, the DOT reminds drivers to give themselves plenty of space, especially if merging near a large truck, a bus, or a commercial vehicle. When merging for a lane closure, take turns with other drivers in a zipper fashion. Finally, the law reminds drivers to yield when entering a roundabout and stay in the same lane until you're ready to signal your exit from the roundabout. We hear about the housing crisis in Wisconsin and the lack of housing in general. Development is happening in the greater Green Bay area to fill those needs. Green Bay Mayor Eric Genrich says one of the problems the city has faced deals with the way the population has grown.
One of the issues that we see, not just in Green Bay, but everywhere, is the reduction of household size, right? So you need more units to actually house the same number of people.
Genrich made his comments on a recent episode of Lean Local with Jim Schmidt, airing Sundays at 1 on WGBW. An Edison Middle School student in Green Bay made a social media post with what turned out to be a toy gun. But that post led to an investigation Wednesday by the Green Bay Police Department and school officials. A letter sent to Edison families and staff said the Snapchat post was thoroughly investigated and authorities determined there was no real threat to safety. Parents and guardians are asked to talk with their children about the seriousness of making threats. The school district said students who make threats, even as a joke, are subject to serious consequences, including criminal charges. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. The third season of White Lotus has dropped on Max, and the HBO show has created some controversy thanks to nitpicky social media followers always looking for something to overanalyze. Every season has a new cast, location, and theme music. Season 2's theme music was so popular, it played in nightclubs across Europe. Season 3's theme music has not been well received. Great thing to stress over in this day and age. If you haven't seen White Lotus yet, give it a chance. Saturday Night Live kicks off a new 50 years in March. March hosts will include comedian Shane Gillis and Lady Gaga. Neither are strangers to the SNL stage. Gillis will host the show for the second time on March 1st. The musical act will be Tate McRae. Gaga will wear hosting and musical hats as she covers both roles on March 8th. Gaga has hosted the show before and performed as the musical guest 4 times previously. Wonder if they'll be invited to the 100th. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is your local Civic Media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly clear and cold tonight, a low near 0. Sunny and milder tomorrow, a high in the low 20s. Continued warming for the weekend with a partly sunny sky. Highs in the mid-20s Saturday, mid-30s Sunday. It's 24 right now.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
It might be cold outside, but we're back on the road to find out what makes Wisconsin great, including the American Birkebeiner
Road Trip.
It's the best ski race in the world. I'm Todd Albaugh. I'm taking you to the Birkebeiner and what it means for the state.
Normally, we're about 2,600 people. During Birkie Week, that gets up to 30,000.
Join us from Hayward, Wisconsin.
A special Todd Albaugh show Thursday and Friday
at noon on your local Civic Media radio station and the app.
Did you know more than 50,000 state residents report being scammed every year?
Could be a TV show. That's our question of the night. Is International Pet Day. I should say animal movie. What is your favorite animal movie? Let us know on the text line, on the stream, on the app. Just get a hold of us, folks. It's great when you're part of the show. Got some great guests coming up next week. Mike Starr will be on the show. He is from Dumb and Dumber and Goodfellas. Great actor. Jamie McShane, who has a really juicy role in this coming season of 1923, will be joining us. And Rich Tallarico, the Key and Peele writer. Rich has been on the show before. And Mariah Gates for RogerEbert.com. Great critic. Some fun guests next week. But right now, we're going to keep this show moving. We've got one of our favorites is on next, and he's a great guy. He's been on the show before. I've been trying to get this guy back on the show because between his last visit and now, he's become a sponsor of the show, and we're thrilled about that. And he is a cigar aficionado, and he's an actor. We'll get into that a little bit, too. But he joins us now to make our popcorn pick of the week. His name is Norm Kopeski, and he's from Appleton Cigar. Hey, Norm, how are you?
Outstanding. You guys tonight?
What's that?
Outstanding. How are you guys tonight?
Oh, we're doing great, Norm. It's great to have you. And how are things in Appleton tonight? I heard it's 75 and sunny. We're dealing with a little bit of cold here. Are you doing okay there?
We're doing all right inside. We put a little sand on the ground. You almost can't even tell it's winter.
All right.
Not at the cigar shop.
That's how you do it. Probably a little warmer in a cigar shop anyway. I love that.
Yeah. It is, yeah.
Well, welcome back, and we're so proud and happy to have you as part of Nightlight, because what better way and what better sponsor than for a cigar store owner to help us light it up here every night on Nightlight. So it's great to have you part of the team, buddy.
Thanks. Glad to be part of you guys' show, and looking forward to working together more in the future.
Yeah, we'll have to get you. Last time we did like a funny little bit when you were in here at the end. We'll have to have you in next time soon, so we can have you in the studio and shoot a little more stuff that maybe you can use in your cigar store and we can use here on our social media. That'd be fun.
Sounds good.
So all right. So Norm, at this time every Thursday we make our popcorn pick of the week, and I have a guest on that I think would make a good movie pick. So before we get to that, it's popcorn. It's snacks. We talk about what we like to eat when we watch movies. We like to talk about our approach. Are you the kind of guy, do you like to go to the theater and watch movies, or do you prefer to watch them in your own home, Norm?
Day in and day out, I'm an in my own home guy.
Okay.
But if you give me something like a Jurassic Park, I've got to have that realistic surround sound.
There you go.
And I want to feel the chair shake.
Have you seen all the Jurassic Parks?
I have, yeah, and I did it in theater too. So
that's kind of
that's where, yeah.
That's awesome. And what do you watch? Like, is it just because that's a big sort of a big silver screen type movie? Do you have movies you'd prefer to watch at home and not brave the elements, so to speak, or sit with people?
I usually, if we go to the theater, I try to take the family with. So it's movies that we would all enjoy a part of. So if we pick a movie that we go to the theater in, it tends to be a style where you can put yourself in the position of the main characters.
There you go.
That's what we like. Yeah.
Great answer. And what about snacks, Norm? What kind of snacks do you go for when you're watching the movies? First in the theaters.
I'm a Reese's Pieces guy. You got to give me them little candy coated chocolates.
I don't know. This is what I do when I go there and I get like M&Ms with peanuts. I let them just sit in my mouth for about 2 minutes and let the chocolate melt, and then I tear into those bad boys. What about you, Con? What do you like? What's your snack?
I mean, it's got to be just popcorn, but I really like Gobstoppers. If you
really,
I haven't had those in a while, but those were my favorite growing up in movie theaters.
I gotta be honest. The Gobstoppers don't have much taste, and they take forever. They're called everlasting Gobstoppers.
Yeah,
So
they last for a while.
I don't mean to judge. Good for you. Okay. Norm Kopeski is our guest. He is one of the owners. Are you one of the owners, Norm, or the sole owner of Appleton Cigar?
One of the owners.
I thought so. Okay. We're going to talk about an event Norm has coming up. We'll do a little cigar talk. We're talking movies right now. Norm, before we go any farther into our snacks or before we make the pick, I want to ask you, you were nice enough to share with me your acting debut. Can you tell us a little bit about that and where people might be able to see it?
Yeah. So my wife and I are huge Drake White fans. He's kind of a newcomer to the country music industry. He's got a real cool story of hardship. And boy, whenever he's in the Midwest, we drop what we're doing and we go catch one of his concerts.
Nice.
It's one of those shows that you can watch probably every other week, if not more. It's just a fun, entertaining show, great crowd, and he really engages with the audience. So his name's Drake White. It's good old fashioned country music with a little bit of a island vibe to it, kind of laid back and relaxed. And so my wife and I were Facebooking one night, and I ran across that they were doing an open casting call for him for this newest music video that he was going to shoot. And I showed it to my wife, and we're like, well, can we pull a Nashville trip together in 18 hours? And we managed to pull it off.
I had no idea.
Go ahead.
I thought that was like an open casting call for extras around here. I had no idea the lengths you had to go to be part of that project. That's so cool.
Yeah. So when they replied back, we're like, we're going to make this happen. How can you pass an opportunity like this up? And so we drove down there on a Sunday. We shot on a Monday. I was planning on sitting there and smoking cigars, watching my wife look beautiful in this music video. And they ran a person short, and they asked if I'd play ball. And as I was shaking my head no, my wife was behind me shaking her head yes. And so I ended up wearing a choir boy outfit. And, it all worked out. It was a lot of fun to really see behind the scenes and how that all goes into the production of stuff. And so either way, it was like a 10-hour day getting this 3-minute video shot, and just had a fun time hanging out and talking about different things that we like about the music industry. So
that's so great. And now you're immortalized. You and your wife are part of this piece of art that is out there for the ages. That's really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So what's the song, Norm, if people wanted to Google or go on to YouTube? It's Drake White, but what's the song of the video you're in?
The name of the song is Faith, and
Faith?
It's on YouTube.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. And it's just a story of this young lady's journey and kind of coming to a culmination, a turning point or so in a church, and I'm the big bearded scary guy in a choir robe in the background. So
that's so great. I love that you shared that because I've been meaning to ask you about it since you sent it to me. Check it out, folks, on YouTube. The video is Faith by Drake White, and you will see Norm He's got a beard. He's a big dude. And as you said, you're dressed like a choir boy, so people can't miss you. It's fun.
Yeah.
Did it give you the acting bug, Norm? Did it make you want to do more of that kind of thing, or you feel like you've satisfied those urges?
I'm content with my 15 minutes of fame. Yeah.
That's good.
I have a face for radio. Let's just call it that.
Well, same here. So that's awesome. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, my guest is Norm Kopesky. He is one of the owners of Appleton Cigar. If you haven't checked it out, go in there. They have a walk-in humidor. Norm can tell you, he can help you match what cigar goes with booze, what type of booze. It's a great atmosphere. And we'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. But right now, we're about to, Conrad, get that drum roll ready. We're about to get Norm's popcorn pick of the week. Norm Kopesky, Appleton Cigar. What is your popcorn pick of the week?
I am super pumped about the Accountant number 2.
Oh, nice.
I cannot wait for that thing to come out. So.
Wow, you are ahead of the game, my friend. When does that come out?
I think early April is what I initially saw. So.
Nice pick.
Yeah.
Okay. Because is Ben Affleck in that one as well? He is, right? Okay.
Yeah, and John Bernthal again.
John Bernthal,
So-
that's right. The Accountant, too. I'm going to look that up here and see when that comes out. That's a great pick. Are those your type of movies, Norm? You like more the action or shoot 'em up or heist movies, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I like some thriller with some action mixed in.
Nice.
So,
Have you seen Den of Thieves or Den of Thieves 2?
I've seen the first one. The
Okay.
second one looks really good too.
I got to be honest, I like the second one better. I thought it just, I don't know. It was something about it. Well, it was shot beautifully. It was over in Europe, but I think I liked it a little more than the first one. So we'll have to discuss that after you check it out. But
okay.
There you go, folks. That's your popcorn pick of the week, brought to you by Appleton Cigar and one of its owners, Norm Kopesky. The Accountant, too. Yeah, it opens April 25th. Okay. Wow, that's great. I'll be looking forward to that one, too. Very cool. So, Norm, you have a big event coming up. You've got right there in the shop, March 6th. Tell us about it.
Yes, we've got Agnerosa Leaf coming in. They're a long-time brand that we started carrying about a year ago. Their rep, Josh Scarver, has been a big supporter of our shop. He does a ton of work promoting our shop and engaging with our customer base and helping them understanding what they're smoking and what they enjoy about what they're smoking. He's bringing in one of the company execs, Fabian, who makes Josh and I look like we don't know what we're talking about when he gets going on cigars. So it's super informative. They're going to really dig into the hows and whys and the stories behind each of the cigar blends, and they really do a nice job with engaging with the customers. And we're going to have some great deals. We're going to be doing a 4-for-1. So every 4 cigars you buy, you get a 5th one for free.
Oh, nice.
Every time you buy a box of cigars, you'll get a hat or a T-shirt or a set of cutters and lighters, different things like that. So we do a nice show when Agnerosa comes into town.
That's so cool. And it's March 6th from 6 to 9 right there at Appleton Cigar. How does that work? Like, is the place big enough? Like, is it just packed when you have an event like that?
It is packed. Cigar smokers tend to be solitary creatures, and so it is a good time. It's almost like a family reunion where you'll bump into people that you haven't seen in a while, but you shared a good story with over a cigar, and it's that family reunion vibe without all the interfamily drama of alcoholism, right?
Yeah.
So you get it's a nice time of catching up, and the shop's big enough for about 70, 80 folks, and
nice.
we throw the doors open to help the smoke out, and just have a great time.
You just said cigar smokers, some of them anyway, live solitary existences. What's the best way to smoke a cigar? I mean, I'm sure you like the community because you have a cigar shop, but do most people prefer to smoke solo or to be in a place like yours and kind of shooting the breeze a little bit?
So that's a great question. I think the best answer to that is they like to be in community in silence.
Wow, that's interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Watching a ball game, a good movie on the TV.
Okay, yeah.
That tends to be the path that follows. Second to that would be playing cards, cribbage or Texas Hold'em.
It's interesting. Like when I have a great glass of whiskey or scotch, I like to be alone and I like to really savor it and taste it. I don't know enough about cigars where I think I would want to be alone. I've always enjoyed going to a cigar shop or hanging out, like you said, playing cards and just kind of smoking together and having that experience. But good for you that people like to go at least go somewhere and do it, even if it's in silence. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
All right, Norm Kopesky's here. We're going to do a couple more minutes with Norm here after we take a very short break, and he has some more news coming out of Appleton Cigar, a really cool event that they did last, was that last summer, Norm? Smoke on the Front?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so you guys have a new date. We'll talk about that when we come back. And I'm going to ask Norm what cigar goes best with what booze. We'll put his feet to the fire here. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor.
Hey, it's me time at Chula Vista. Time for you to pamper yourself. Wisconsin's most complete resort experience has everything you want. Fine-tuned for 70 years by 4 generations of the Kaminsky family, Chula Vista can be easygoing with colorful scenic river walks, 18 holes of classic golf, a relaxing spa, or you can go all out in 80,000 square feet of indoor water park. Ziplining through canyon views in Chula's Aerial Adventure Park. And dining comes any way you like it, from pizza to Wisconsin's #1 ranked steakhouse. More than 600 guest rooms to choose from, with $10 million in updates. Chula Vista, everything you've been wanting, all right here on site. Check it out at chulavistaresort.com.
USA Today's Reader's Choice Awards named Chula Vista one of America's top 10 indoor water parks. Find out why at chulavistaresort.com.
Hey, it's John Mino.
And Jim Schmidt from Mino and the Mayor.
Want to stay in the loop with all things Northeast Wisconsin? Sign up for the WGBW weekly newsletter.
Get the latest local stories, updates on the weather, and a special feature from our Mino and the Mayor podcast.
It's your one-stop shop for real news and great conversation in Northeast Wisconsin.
Log on to WGBW.FM today and get signed up.
Real news, great conversation. Sign up today at WGBW.FM/newsletter.
Hey, it's Amanda with another new Wisco 411, and the diverse and resilient Appleton Room to Be Safe is hosting a monthly drop-in night for LGBTQ plus adults, which will have social connection, fun, and resource sharing, and best of all, support. These meetings are available once a month from now through April. They are completely free and unstructured, so you can come when you want and leave when you want.
Every time I think of you, I feel a shot right through the bow of blue. It's no problem of mine, but it's a problem I find. Living a life that I can't leave behind.
Katie in the 608 says, I love Gobstoppers too. I can't find them lately. I haven't tried online or candy shops, but Walgreens, Quick Trip, CVS, nope. Hope they didn't stop making them because some dodo head lost 4 teeth. Well, that's what happens. It's always one idiot. They have to discontinue the whole brand.
Yep.
Thank you, Katie, for the text. Coming up at 7:20, Tim Cody. He's the president of the Fox Valley Veterans Council. He'll be here to talk about a big event they have coming up. They do some great stuff for veterans. And right now, our pal Norm Kopesky is on the line. He is one of the owners of Appleton Cigar, a great little joint you have to check out if you haven't already. They have a great event coming up on March 6th. where, am I saying that right, Norm? Agnarosa Leaf?
Perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
you got it spot on.
They'll be there from 6 to 9 p.m. It's going to be a really cool event. And Norm, you talked about, when you were here last time in person, you talked about the community of cigar smokers and cigar shops. I found that fascinating because in many businesses where it's cutthroat and you do anything you can for customers and whatever, you said you guys all pretty much get along and communicate. How does that work, and how do you guys coexist like that?
Yeah, so part of it is the we want to support each other because, well, it's a little bit of a Midwest vibe that we have going on in that we want to see each other succeed, not at my expense, and I don't want to succeed at their expense. I just want to see great businesses do a good job, and part of that is that it's a cigar culture thing to begin with, where we really check our politics and a lot of beliefs at the door, and that we can have a civil discussion without it getting heated or anything. So that's part of how we bring that to the business side as well. We model that first for our customers, but that everybody likes something for a different reason, and you do you. That's cool, and I'll respect that, and so on and so forth. So that's just kind of how we do that. Yeah, we like each other's place for different reasons.
Nice.
There's a shop in Green Bay that is a nice, big, spacious place. It's really decked out in a cool way. Same with down in Brookfield and Delavan and so on and so forth.
If you could tell someone listening who has not had the cigar shop experience why they should come, what would you say?
The biggest reason is that a tobacconist, a good tobacconist, someone who will help you pick out a cigar, is going to help you to dial in what you like for a cigar and why you like it, so that you know how to expand from there into other brands and other cigar blends.
Nice. So you can really hone in on what it is you might respond to.
That's right, yeah.
That's awesome. All right, you guys have another event that you did last summer called Smoke on the Fox. You told me earlier you just set a date. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Smoke on the Fox is it's our multi-vendor event. We bring in all of the different reps from the different brands of cigars that we have in the shop. So Oliva, Perdomo, Ashton, Padron, Crown Heads, Espinosa, Agnarosa, Lovely. We bring in all these different reps, and they talk about their cigars and why you're going to like it for different reasons and how it's similar to the other brands, so on and so forth. So it's a ticketed event. With your ticket, you're going to get a couple of beer coupons for Line Still Brewery, where we host the event at. It's a great microbrew shop that's getting some traction here in Wisconsin. They just opened their second location down in Wauwatosa.
Nice.
And then from there, we do a little bit of talk about cigar history. We do a ton of door prizes and raffles. And then towards the end of the night, we have an auction for different cigar collector type stuff, whether it's boxes of cigars or humidors, cutters, lighters, liquor in tumbler sets. Oh boy, what else? Golf bags.
Nice. I think to me, it's like, and I wanted to ask you what cigar goes with a certain kind of booze, but like I haven't had a drink in a while. I'm just kind of enjoying a nice hiatus here. But I remember I loved a cigar with a glass of whiskey. What kind of cigar or tobacco goes best with like a good single malt Scotch or a good Irish whiskey?
Okay, so a single malt Scotch, I'm going to steer you towards something a little bit on the lighter side, like a Plasencia Reserva, where you're going to really have the flavors of the Scotch accented by the soft notes of the cigar. But if you're going to go with an Irish whiskey, which tends to be a little bit milder on the palate, still has a touch of peat, but is milder on the palate, we would go with something a little bit more bold, like a Don Pepin Garcia Original, where there's the flavors far more bold, and they kind of offset each other. If you have a whiskey that you know you like, then you play around with different cigars. If you have a cigar you know you like, then you would play around with different whiskeys so that you can kind of understand some of the different flavor profiles of what's going on while keeping one piece consistent.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly why you need to get down to the Appleton Cigar Company and check it out. Norm will steer you right, and that's a great answer. And you almost make me want to start drinking again, Norm. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, we got a place for you. I reserve a seat.
I know you do. I got to get down there. Hey, good luck with the event on the 6th, and we'll talk more about Smoke on the Fox as it gets closer. But thank you so much for being with us tonight, buddy, and making our popcorn pick of the week.
Yeah, you're welcome. And just a quick thought. I saw that you have Tim Cody coming on next.
Yeah.
He represents Fox Cities Veteran Council, which I know he's going to talk about in detail.
Yeah.
The benefit of our auction at the end of the Smoke on the Fox, the proceeds of that auction go to Fox Cities Veteran Council.
Fantastic. Well, that's awesome.
Tim's a great supporter of ours.
Well, we'll be sure to mention that when he's here, too. Thanks so much, Norm. Have a great night, buddy.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. That's Norm Kopeski. Check out Appleton Cigar. They know their stuff, as you just heard. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight. When we come back, we got a lot of funny stuff lined up. You're not going to want to miss it. Send us a text. What's your favorite animal movie? We're having fun on Nightlight on a Thursday. It's Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Touch your hand and sing a sound so pure, salvation brings. Tell me, can you feel it?
with in all those different communities, engaging in conversations about really important things to them.
Listen for more inspiring stories all month long. I'm Terry Barr.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. The first bills of the legislative session are moving from the state assembly to the state senate. With more, here's Civic Media's Jimmy Kuska.
A half dozen bills dealing with education passed the state assembly Wednesday. One of them would require the DPI to use the standards from the National Assessment of Education Progress for school report cards. Another bans wireless devices from classrooms. Other bills include mandating cursive writing, civics courses as a requirement for graduation, requiring 70% of district funds to be used in classrooms, and setting a 2-week turnaround time for requests to review instructional material by any district resident. For Civic Media News, I'm Jimmy Kuska.
All 6 bills are now headed to the state senate for deliberation. A new report found Wisconsin students are still lagging behind pre-pandemic levels for math and reading scores. According to the Education Recovery Scorecard released by the Center for Education Policy Research at Harvard University, Wisconsin students are months behind in math and half a grade behind in reading scores. Despite the lower scores, the state still ranked 16th for math recovery and 30th for reading recovery. The report also found that over
Bobby Portis suspended 25 games. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks' Bobby Portis suspended for the next 25 games by the NBA after testing positive for a non-approved painkiller. Portis says he thought he was taking Toradol for an elbow injury. Instead, an assistant of his gave him a prescription of Tramadol, a painkiller banned by the league last spring. Bucks head coach Doc Rivers.
I just feel bad for Bobby on so many levels. The dude's gone through a lot, this year with his mom passing and, his house been broken in and then this, the thing I did tell him is this is going to be one hell of a story for you. Our goals haven't changed as a team. This was going to be harder. I mean, Bobby's a huge loss. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat that. He's been so good for us. And not only on the floor, but his spirit. We need his spirit.
The Bucks hosting the Clippers. A recap coming up later tonight with sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
I'm Lisa Hale with WGBW News. Your news roundup in quick podcast form. You can find it anywhere at the WGBW website, WGBW.FM.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly clear and cold tonight, a low near 0. Sunny and milder tomorrow, a high in the low 20s. Continued warming for the weekend with a partly sunny sky. Highs in the mid-20s Saturday, mid-30s Sunday. Currently 23 degrees.
Carmelo Anthony for the Bail Project.
Bad news, you've been arrested. Good news, you're innocent until proven guilty. If you can pay your bail, good news, you go home to wait your trial. If you can't, sorry, you go to jail to wait. But sure, you still presumed innocent. But since you can't afford bail, you've lost your freedom. That's not right. And that's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
The Dom Salvia Show.
Harvey, the seemingly purposeful no action. What's your sense on the leadership in the Dem Party right now, Harvey?
I'm ashamed of them. What did Trump have on all these people?
Yeah, right.
That we get this kind of silence. Will the Democratic leadership figure out that it's their task to start articulating a Democratic, small d, Democratic vision and project that these people can rally behind? Bam.
The Dom Salvia Show. Weekdays from 4 till 6 on the Civic Media Radio Network and on the Civic Media app. Maggie Dawn.
At 2 o'clock, we discuss the idea that women should just make sandwiches for their men and maybe shouldn't even have the right to vote, because that's what's coming from the MAGAs next.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who believes a penny saved isn't jack Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back. As we kick off hour number 2, broadcasting live statewide from beautiful downtown Green Bay, wherever you're joining us from, in the beautiful state of Wisconsin this fine evening. It's great to have you. We have a question of the night we're having some fun with. It is International Pet Day. So our question tonight is, what is your favorite animal movie? Could be a pet movie, could be an animal movie. We've had some good responses so far, so chime in. Let us know what your favorite animal movie is. Who said Jurassic Park?
Was that Was that Norm?
Was it Norm? Norm wanted the accountant. No, he did say Jurassic Park because that's something he needed to see on the big screen. And there's another Jurassic Park coming out. And
I saw the commercial or the trailer for it today.
Yeah.
Looks interesting.
It does. And Scarlett Johansson begged the producers of the film to be in a Jurassic Park movie. And she got her wish. So she's in it. That's kind of cool.
What'd you say yours was again?
My favorite animal movie?
Yeah.
You know what? I think I said, did I say The Lion King? No, I said How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes. Yep.
I have a great memory of going to see that with my son, and I really liked the movie. I also liked The Lion King. I took my kids to see that. But I want to talk about another film I saw involving an animal is new, and Rob Thomas introduced me to it about 3 weeks ago. The movie is called Flow, and you can stream it now. Well, it's on HBO for everyone to watch if you have HBO. It's called Flow, and it's about a cat that gets caught up in a flood and has to survive and has to work together with other animals in order to survive. It's just it's like an hour and 20 minutes long. And it's just a great watch. It goes quickly. There's no dialogue, but it's really captivating. And the animation is cool. And I'm not a technical guy, but I noticed how much I liked it. And Rob even said he didn't know how these guys did it. I think they're Latvian filmmakers. And they did this very low budget, but it's a really cool film, and it's called Flow. So I will put that into my one of my answers as well. Tom from New Berlin says, for an education wishbone. When? 6 minutes ago. That would have been during the news. What do you think Tom's referring to? Did we talk about education?
I don't.
Wishbone?
The education of cigars?
Maybe it had something to do with cigars. Give us clarification, though, Tom. I'd love to know what you were talking about there. Steady Eddie chiming in a little early tonight. I got to say, I like this. I like when Steady Eddie gets to us early because it's fun to read his text. He says, Pete, my favorite animal movie, The Blob, 1958. It's my Milk Duds pick of the week. Wow, Milk Duds. We've talked about Milk Duds on the show.
Can't do them.
Steady Eddie loves them. It says Milk Duds pick of the week. He says, starring Steve McQueen. In the movie, McQueen's girlfriend is played by Anita Corset, who later in her career played Andy Taylor's girlfriend, Helen Crump, on The Andy Griffith Show. It was my first scary movie seen at a theater. Like the giant spider invasion, it's a pretty cool low-budget flick. Good to know. He says, if I ever get a dog, I'm thinking about it, I'm going to name it either Seriously Dude. Seriously Dude.
I like it.
Sirius is known as the dog star and is the brightest star in the night sky. Love it. Yeah. Or my other choice is Schwaba the Mutt. I love it. That would be my mob nickname, Eddie.
Schwaba the Hut.
People would be scared of me if people called me Schwaba the Mutt. That would mean, don't go to sleep on me because I'm coming for you. Steady Eddie. Thank you, Steady. Thank you, Steadfast Edward. It's great to hear from you, buddy. Tom says PBS shown history. Okay. Thank you, Tom. What should we do, Conrad? We got so much funny stuff. We got
Well, I mean, should we play
our sketch again?
Sketch.
I'm sorry. I mean, we obtained audio, ladies and gentlemen. In case you weren't listening to the first part of the show, we obtained audio from the Philadelphia City Council meeting. The mayor called an emergency meeting. They had to get things together to get the Super Bowl parade up and running, and they were very self-conscious about the city of Philadelphia's image because, as you know, people pee, puke, do other disgusting bodily function type things. They've punched horses. They've made out and made love to police cars. They're just the worst fans, at least that are captured doing such things. We had just a couple months ago, a guy was yelling at a Green Bay Packer fan. Remember that woman? She was all decked out in Packer garb, and this guy's yelling, and he's calling her. He's saying the worst words you can say to a woman. He's such a jerk, and that's Philadelphia. So they won the Super Bowl. They had to have a parade because that's what people do. We obtained audio of the city council meeting as they were planning the parade. I don't know. It didn't go that well, but let's, should we fire it up?
Yeah.
Right, let's do it. Thank you, city council members, for coming in on such short notice. Now, we've got a real dilemma here with this parade right around the corner. People, Our town's sports fans have such a terrible reputation, and I want this to be a rebrand for our city. Now, we know parade attendees are going to show up and act like assholes and embarrass the out of us. So what do we do to keep this to a minimum and put our best foot forward and let people know that our drunken sports fans do not represent other Philadelphians?
Sir, what if we just pleaded with everyone to act like mature adults?
That's cute. Seriously, though, I think what we need to do is try to keep certain people out of certain areas and away from the cameras where their behavior could hit national news.
Have we done enough to protect the horses? We don't want another horse getting punched repeatedly. It might be wise to keep our law enforcement officers off horseback this year.
It's a good idea, but what about the guy who celebrated a little too much and ended up dry humping police motorcycles a few years ago?
That's not fair. Sir, he just had too much to drink.
Okay. Yeah, that's the whole problem right there.
Sir, we've had a number of instances where young drunk males have vomited, oftentimes on nice suburban families. What if we cordoned off a section where if people needed to puke, they could go there and any peripheral vomit would hit other vomiters instead of nice families?
I like the way you think, but I'm not ready to condone any type of vomiting just yet.
Sir, we have met with the committee, Friends of Public Urinators, and we've asked them to please tone it down. They immediately got defensive and threatened to pee right there at that meeting.
You got to be kidding me.
Sir, we countered and said we will not supply enough porta potties. As it turns out, that was a mistake because they got belligerent, doubled down, and said that they actually prefer having no privacy. And then they threatened to eat asparagus before the parade.
Damn it. Checkmate. People, please.
What about people who just want to empty their drinks on innocent bystanders and have a laugh? They should have an area too?
Well, that's very noble, but we've only got so many city blocks, people.
We could just have all the bodily function people in one area and then have hazmat come in after and just nuke it.
I'm not sure hazmat exists anymore, sir.
Damn it.
Sorry to be a Debbie Downer, but we're forgetting about people who just want to randomly start beating people up.
Great point. Why couldn't we have won the Super Bowl during COVID and just had a virtual parade?
Or we could just be who we are, avid sports fans who just like to dispense some bodily fluids from time to time to celebrate our victories.
Maybe you're right.
Yes, finally. We are number one. We are number one. We are number one.
Hey, watch it.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
You got one more cough. A lot of sick people at that meeting.
Yeah. You know what? One of those guys sounds like our own Todd Michaels. It's kinda,
it did.
Yeah, it's kind of
that
weird.
smooth voice.
Yeah.
You know, that's unmistakable. But great voices in Philadelphia. If not, you know,
Definitely.
There weren't too many crazy incidents this year, though. It didn't seem like it.
Yeah. Well, there.
Other than the general puking, peeing, and
there is some stuff that happened there.
other types of incidents. So, all right. We have Tim Cody will be here in just a few minutes, folks. He is the president of the Fox Valley Veterans Council. They have a big event coming up. We're going to talk about that with Tim. We'll also find out what Tim's watching on TV. Did we ask Tim last time he was here if he has a favorite military movie? I don't remember that.
Can't remember.
I feel like I probably did ask him that, but we'll have to find out again. So we'll ask that. Tim coming up in just a few minutes. He's in studio. That's always exciting, too. We have... what do we have? Pat Healy? What do we do with this? Because it was Matt Dillon's birthday this week.
Yes. And I mean, if we want, I could set this up because
do it.
It was hard to get something from this guy that didn't involve something bad.
Completely inappropriate to say.
But this is from there's something about Mary.
Okay.
And mainly it's about, Ben Stiller's character in it and Mary. But Pat Healy comes in. He's playing golf. He acts really good when he sees her. And all of a sudden, he just goes, every single lie he could think of, he just puts it out there. He just wants to impress her so much.
Here's Matt Dillon in the week of his birthday from Something About Mary.
Really? Oh, where would I have seen your work? Well, have you been to, let me see, Santiago, Chile? Twice last year. Which building's yours? Are you familiar with the soccer stadium? Did you build the Estadio Olimpico? No, just down the street, the Celinto Cayente Towers.
Lying is always funny. It's when you know someone is lying. That's why George Costanza is like one of the greatest characters in the history of television. Do we have time for the Office Space clip?
Yeah.
Let's play that. This is one of my favorite clips from Office Space. It involves Richard Reilly, who plays Tom Smikowski. Richard's been on the show several times. We got to have him back soon, but here's a great clip from Office Space.
Hello, Peter. What's happening? We have sort of a problem here. Yeah, you apparently didn't put one of the new cover sheets on your TPS reports.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry about that. I forgot.
Yeah. You see, we're putting the cover sheets on all TPS reports now before they go out. Did you see the memo about this?
Yeah. Yeah, I have the memo right here. I just forgot. But it's not shipping out till tomorrow, so there's no problem.
Yeah. If you could just go ahead and make sure you do that from now on, that would be great. And I'll go ahead and make sure you get another copy of that memo. Okay?
Yeah, no, I have the memo. I've got it. It's right. Hello, Phil.
That was not the clip I thought it was, but it's still a great clip. That's Gary Cole as Lumberg was his name.
You know, I forgot about a movie, animal movie, that goes into like 8 different others. Airbud.
No way are there that many Airbuds.
Yes, there is. If you look up Airbud, there's so many.
I'm not even going to do that. Even looking it up to see how many there are would be a waste of time. All right. We have the president of the Fox Valley Veterans Council, Tim Cody, will be here. I just call him El Presidente, but it'll be good to see Tim again. He's in studio, folks, coming up after a very short break. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for Matt and Air on Air.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver. And at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of active liver.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com, or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to NordicUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New year, new you, New Nordic.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. Wisconsin's next major election is already here. The race for state Supreme Court is ramping up with just a few weeks to go before the April 1st general election. Much like the race 2 years ago, this will determine the balance of power on the court. If Susan Crawford wins, the court remains in liberal control. If Brad Schimmel wins, the court flips back to a right-wing majority. But there are a number of differing dynamics from the race in 2023. That race, won by Janet Protasewicz, was the culmination of a years-long effort for liberals to win control of the court. Now they're playing defense to keep that majority. This also begins a run of 6 years in a row with a race for Wisconsin Supreme Court on the spring election ballot. Because of which justices will be up in coming years, if Crawford wins this year, the court will likely remain in liberal control until at least 2028. Find more.
Welcome back. Man, it is, we are zooming through a Thursday night here. It is like the, what do we call it, Conrad?
The Christmas Eve of weekdays.
That's it. That's Thursday night, baby. Tomorrow's Christmas Day of weekdays. And we have our Civic Media Christmas party. That's exciting.
Yeah, we do.
Just a couple months after Christmas, which is...
Just a couple months, yeah.
Our question of the night, you can still get in on the fun, folks, is what is your favorite animal movie? It is International Pet Day, and we've had some great answers so far, so keep those coming. And it is my pleasure right now, though, to introduce a guy who's no stranger to the show. He's been here before. I call him El Presidente. He is the president of the Fox Valley Veterans Council, and he does great work here locally. And he's in the studio with us tonight again, Tim Cody. Tim, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Am I the only one who calls you El Presidente?
I've had so many nicknames over the year that actually I did have one. Well, they called me El Jefe.
El Jefe. Oh, what does that mean again? I used to know what that meant.
The boss.
Okay, yeah. I wish I was bilingual. I like your sweatshirt.
Thank you.
It says, for those of you watching in the stream, you can see it says the Dog Father. And I thought initially that was a Snoop Dogg thing, but there's a story behind it that has nothing to do with Snoop Dogg. Thank God, because Snoop Dogg gets enough airtime. So tell us the thinking behind the shirt. I love it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, this is going to be one of the signature drinks at our March 7th Veterans Ball. And it was actually, I kind of created it one Christmas when my daughters and my wife were celebrating Christmas Eve. We just got a big Mastiff breed.
Oh, yeah.
And we were sipping on new bourbons, and the girls were asking me to make some different types of drinks, old-fashioned, a Christmas old-fashioned, a cranberry old-fashioned, etc. And we're going through that. And they like, Dad, create something different that's never been done before.
Oh, that's pressure.
So I'm like, yeah, a lot of pressure. So I'm looking through. I have a really nice bottle of rye, and I like Manhattans. I like old fashions. And there's a drink called a Godfather, which is a bourbon and amaretto. So you take those three, and I kind of combined them, and this kind of slips right between those three.
Yeah.
So it's made out of rye. It's made out of sweet vermouth. It's got bitters, and then you do a topper of amaretto with an orange twist.
Wow.
And my girls tasted it. And they're like, Dad, this is really, really good. What should we call it? And they had just given me these socks that had a picture of the dog, which is this big Mastiff with a cigar in his mouth. And they said, we're going to call it the Dog Father.
That sounds like the perfect drink to get your daughters to taste test if they're legal age, and it's not like a sleepover for 12-year-olds or something.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct.
All right, good. So Dogfather, I like it. So people will be able to get that at an event you have coming up. Tell us about that. That's March 7th, Veterans Ball. Where will that be?
That's going to be a Venue 404 down in Oshkosh.
Okay.
Venue 404 is a 1920s bank. It's perfect for the theme, Prohibition Ball.
Yeah.
Actually, Johnny Depp's movie Public Enemies.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
some stuff that was filmed in there. They actually have a 1920s theme all the time in there, and they have a Prohibition Vault bar down in the basement. And then they have a beautiful ballroom up top with a bar as well. So it's going to be a great event. It's the second year we've done it. Last year was a pretty good success. We're hoping this year as well. So it's just your tickets are all inclusive. That's the first thing you need to know. Your tickets are your donation. So we don't ask for any more money when you come in there.
Okay.
So unlike other charity events, you go in there, you got baskets, you got raffles, you got
shaken down all night.
Right,
Yeah.
get shaken down all night. Here, just our sponsorships and our tickets raise the money. So what I wanted it to be a little different. I wanted the people just to be able to come in and celebrate what we do and celebrate our mission and not have to worry about anything else. So when you walk in, it's like being in a speakeasy.
Oh, nice.
And so your tickets get all-inclusive drinks, all-inclusive food, casino tables, jazz and dancing, and we have James P. Conley coming to be for about a half an hour. He's going to do a little bit in the break in the band.
Oh,
He's
nice.
a nationally known comic. He's an ex-Marine, Harvard grad. He's been on Netflix, Americans Got Talent. He's
Dry Bar, nice.
Regular on Dry
Yeah.
Bar, Sirius XM. He's a really nice guy. He agreed to come up and do this with us from California. I remember the thing he kept saying when we were talking on the phone is, I don't know why I agree I'm going to Wisconsin in March.
Hey, it could be worse.
You know, so, I mean, it's just going to be a great event. We still have tickets available. We still have sponsorships available.
Okay.
So if anybody's interested, March 7th, this will be a fun time.
It sounds like it. Where do people go to get tickets?
They can go to our website at foxvalleyveterans.org/ball.
Fox Valley Veterans/org. I'm sorry. Say it again.
foxvalleyveterans.org/ball. /ball.
Okay.
If you get to our website, you can find it.
Right.
Yeah, you can find it on there. And they can buy the tickets right on there. You can do sponsorships on there. We have a few sponsorships still available, and we have a really cool sponsorship that we did last year, which was very successful, and that's sponsoring a veteran for a ticket.
Oh, nice.
So you can either, if you don't know one, you can just say, hey, I'd like to sponsor 2 veterans and donate, and we will find 2 veterans to come. Or if you have a veteran in mind, you can give us their name and buy a ticket for them.
Oh, that's great. Now, how much are the tickets?
So the tickets are $150 for standard, and then $300 for VIP. Now the VIPs get a little bit better stuff down in that vault basement,
Okay.
better food, top of the line, and they get to have a one-on-one with James Conley down.
Okay,
Yeah.
$150. That's Conrad. You going to chip in here?
I might have to.
But if you think
We'll
about
talk,
it,
we'll
you
talk.
get dancing, all the drinks you want, all the foods you want, casino gambling, and a comic show for $150.
That's an
standard ticket.
incredible deal.
That's a
actually.
pretty
Yeah.
good deal. When people go, "Oh, that's a lot for a ticket." Not really.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking for any more money for you afterwards.
Right. It's and now parking is $1,000. We should establish that. But no, that's fantastic because it's all inclusive, and then people can relax the rest
People
of the night.
can relax the whole time, and parking is actually very available there.
Yeah.
There's 2 public lots, and you got public parking all along the street too.
Folks, Tim Cody is here. He's the president of the Fox Valley Veterans Council. We'll talk more about this fantastic event he has coming up on March 6th. Is it the 6th? It's the 7th.
7th.
Okay, March 7th. And we'll get into some more stuff about some veteran stuff. We'll talk maybe a little movies with El Presidente. He's here in the studio. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Boulevard to Bay Settlement, 97.9 WGBW. Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers visited Franklin Elementary School in Oshkosh Wednesday to highlight his call for increased education spending in his budget address. During his State of the State address, Governor Evers declared 2025 as the year of the kid. In the budget address Tuesday, he called for billions of dollars for education funding over the next 2 years. During the visit, Governor Evers also referenced the record-breaking number of districts that have needed to propose operational referendums. Oshkosh has a $197.8 million referendum on the April ballot. It's National FFA Week, a time to recognize the important role of the National FFA organization in developing the next generation of farmers who will change the world. Civic Media's Joanne Krulatz tells us why today is especially important.
Each year, FFA chapters around the country celebrate National FFA Week. Tyson Gerke, a graduate of Fenimore High School, serves as the treasurer for the Wisconsin State FFA chapter. The general public is invited to support FFA.
Even if you don't have experience in FFA, or even if you're an adult that doesn't have anyone in FFA, you can still give back to FFA, which all the proceeds will go back into the State Association of FFA. And with that, it allows us to conduct our conferences, our conventions, and also allows us to give out grants to the FFA members doing amazing things. And so this Thursday, February 20th, is an opportunity for you to give back on Give FFA Day.
National FFA Week runs through Saturday.
I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM. From local news to what's going on around the state, Civic Media's mission is to bring you real news and great conversation.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Director Peter Bogdanovich's final film has been remastered and will be released digitally by Lionsgate. The film Squirrels to Nuts was originally released under its first title, She's Funny That Way, in 2014. The acclaimed director passed away in 2022. In reality TV stars talking just to talk news, Bethany Frankel weighed in on Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, making light of their legal issues with director Justin Baldoni, who is also Lively's co-star in It Ends With Us. Frankel, one of the real fake TV housewives of New York City, said joking about the lawsuits on Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary was nothing short of genius, calling it the zeitgeist, a bullseye. She added that the only way to weather a storm is to go right through it, while also acknowledging that the storm might have actually been caused by Lively and Reynolds in the first place, admitting that no one knows what happened. Let this be a lesson to you youngsters out there. Always make social media posts before you day drink. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly clear and cold tonight, a low near 0. Sunny and milder tomorrow, a high in the low 20s. Continued warming for the weekend with a partly sunny sky. Highs in the mid-20s Saturday, mid-30s Sunday. Currently 21 degrees.
While the teams get ready to choose their top draft pick, you can help Mino and the Mayor choose their top craft pick.
Northeast Wisconsin is home to amazing breweries, wineries, cideries, and distilleries, and we need your help picking the best.
We've drafted 10 of our favorites, but which local craft beverage creator will go to number 1? That's up to you. Mino and the Mayor's top craft pick, drafting Northeast Wisconsin's finest one sip at a time. Details coming soon.
Max Inc. on Civic Media, live in the lair with Kaylin Cole.
Have you ever walked away from a karaoke performance thinking, yeah, that was a lot better than the original person?
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I should admit that or not.
I think you should. Because now we know there's a song.
Jimmy's tugging on it now.
I know. Oh, you're going to get me in trouble, Jimmy.
It's live in the lair. Grab the podcast now at maxincradio.com and listen live on Saturday nights, 6 to midnight, across the Civic Media Radio Network.
John Mino and Jim Schmidt.
On Friday's show, we'll check in with Cody Prepline.
There's a problem with feathers, iron, bargain, buildings, weights, and pulleys.
Welcome back.
Feathers hit the ground.
We are hanging out with Tim Cody. He is the president of the Fox Valley Veterans Council. He's here in the studio with me at Nightlight. And we're talking about a great event they have on March 7th. Let's just review this, Tim. March 7th, the Veterans Ball. It's in Oshkosh. Tell us where it is again.
It's at Venue 404.
In Oshkosh. Okay.
In Oshkosh.
Great night. You buy the tickets. It's all inclusive. They're not going to ask you for money the rest of the night. Let me just ask you, because I feel like sometimes you hear veteran benefits get cut or they're having trouble raising money for veterans, this or that. If we can't raise money for veterans, what does that say? Do you have trouble with that? Are you surprised that you have trouble? Or are you surprised how much people give? Or do you find that you struggle to raise funds?
Well, I mean, raising funds for a charity is just an all-encompassing, no matter what charity you have, almost, right?
Yeah.
Mine's a little different in that I think of my charity or the Fox Valley Veterans Charity is a kind of invisible charity in that we do physical assistance, financial assistance to veterans in need, and then we also do a lot of connections of them to get help.
Okay.
So one, we try to help them in their emergency situation. We try to keep them from getting evicted. We try to get their teeth done. We try to fix their car. We try to do all that stuff, right? But we also try to connect them with services because there's a reason that they're not thriving. Okay. And we got to figure that out. Otherwise, they'll just be coming back for more and more and more, right? That's always something that you're just fighting. But I don't have any visual for that, right? I don't take those veterans that I help, and I don't take pictures of them, and I don't put them on the TV, and I don't go, oh, look at this person, he's in need, and I'm going to, we don't do that to our veterans, right?
Right.
So I don't have a whole lot of visuals, so it's a kind of an invisible charity in that sense. We have a nice little office with 3 of us in there. That's about a 10 by 10 office. So it's really cramped. But other charities have buildings, they have animals, they have people coming off an airplane. I mean, they've got beautiful things. Nothing against that. That's great.
Yeah.
That's what tugs at heart
Right.
strings. I have a hard time getting people to picture what we do as a visual. And so in that sense, it's hard. We have expanded every year. We've grown every year. We're working hard at doing that. We're trying to expand our reach. So we cover Outagamie County, Winnebago County, Calumet County, Wapaka County. We did over 35,000 in Brown County, and that's by exception. Brown County isn't technically in our area. That is by an exception where we reach out when that veterans, they're not getting the assistance in Brown County. So we will cover that. So we've reached up into Brown County. In the last 2 years, we've done well over 30,000 in assistance in Brown County. And now we're getting ready to reach down into other counties, like Fond du Lac County is starting to expand. We're starting to do more exceptions in Fond du Lac County. So there's always a need. I mean, I can tell you, I went in a point-in-time count. You know what that is?
No.
Point-in-time count is when you go out at one time, and this is how the federal government kind of dishes out federal money for homelessness. You go out into the cities, and you count homeless people. So our office went to Appleton and Oshkosh, and we did that. It was a sub-zero night with snow.
Oof.
There were over 80 people, 80 homeless folks. The year before, same conditions, there was only 30.
Wow.
So almost a 3-time increase on a sub-zero night. That's incredible. We have a housing. We have just a really housing problem. I think everybody's heard it.
Yeah.
But we really have the inflation and the housing shortage has just really hit people hard. And so, that stuff's happening. There's going to be a need for a while to do this, to get it. You can't build houses fast enough. And when you build them, you can't get them cheap enough yet. That takes years down the line as you get people to move out of where they are, et cetera, those type of things. And housing is 70% of our assistance.
Wow.
So do I find it hard? I find the Greater Fox Valley area is the most generous area I've ever lived in my entire life.
Nice.
I mean, it is a great place to be a charity and to raise money. Sometimes it's so great because I think other charities move here because they're like, oh, it's really good.
We want some of that.
You have community foundations in Green Bay. You have a community foundation in Appleton. You have a community foundation in Oshkosh. You have United Ways. You have many of the big corporations are just very socially responsive. And they do great work. They support several charities all over the Fox Valley area. But it's still work. I mean, it just never stops. There's
imagine.
always,
Yeah.
I'm always finding different ways to ask for money.
So what do you do when you see 80 people out in those kind of conditions? Do you round them up and take them to a shelter, or what's the plan there?
The plan there when you do that is you one, ask if they will talk to you.
Yeah.
Right. Many of them don't want to talk to you.
Right.
Of course, this is at night, so many of them are trying to sleep, and so there's never a real great way to do it, except at night is where you get them at their spots where they're homeless.
Right.
Where during the day they're not there, and so you can't. I mean, there are rules whether you can count them as homeless or not.
Okay.
So you have to actually find them outside of a shelter. They have to acknowledge themselves that they are homeless, and then we try to get as much demographics. And at any point in time, they don't want us to talk to them or answer any questions. We don't, and we just kind of move on. But you just try to get as much. We give them resources. If there were beds that were open and we knew there were beds that were open, we can direct them to shelters and things like that. And we just try to get as much information as you can. But the purpose of the count is to get a count, and then you send that up through the bureaucracy and to the federal government, and they have some formula on how they dish out money.
Deal with it, yeah. That is the voice of Tim Cody. He's the president of the Fox Valley Veterans Council. They have a great event coming up here in the Fox Valley in Oshkosh on March 7th. That's a Friday night at Venue 404. It's an all-inclusive night. There's a comedy show. Comedian James P. Connolly, he'll be there. He's a vet himself, correct? And
Correct.
a former Marine. And Harvard grad. All-inclusive, food, drinks. Love that you have jazz. Casino games. It sounds like a great night, and people can, once again, tell us how to get tickets, Tim, or how they, veterans, right here, foxvalleyveterans.org/ball. Is that right?
Correct. That's
Okay.
correct. And we have a great MC, Dan Davies.
I was just going to ask you about Dan.
Yeah.
Okay. He's chiming in on the stream here. He says, I don't know that that's Dan. I assume it's Dan because that's
Which is
Dan's
the Deer
movie.
Mageddon.
So he says, Pete, who is hosting the Prohibition Ball. So Dan is either hammered right now and completely forgot he took the gig, or he's just trying to get some help you promote the event, which is fantastic. So Dan, good luck tonight or that night. Break a leg. He says you may be interested after you ask Tim Cody. Also, is that a toque you're wearing
on your head?
I've had this hat for like 20 years, and my son's like, Dad, you can never get rid of that hat. It's past the point of I want to get like a derby.
It's kind of like your whoopee.
It's like my whoopee, but it's warmer because in this kind of weather, I'm always cold, even in the studio. Dan, thanks for watching, and good luck. We hope you break a leg, and don't be funnier than the comedian. I don't know if Dan's funny. I know he's a very good actor. He's a great guy. He's been on the show several times.
Yeah.
Are you expecting
to me,
jokes?
Dan is funny.
Okay.
And I met him at the Appleton Cigar Company, who's another great supporter.
That's
That's
right.
where Dan and I met. And he volunteered his services. So after
Wow.
5 minutes
Can't
of
beat that.
conversation, I was going to take that up. That was for sure.
He has never volunteered to give me jack squat. So I hope you feel very satisfied.
I feel
with that.
privileged.
It's very cool. No, Dan's a very talented actor here in Northeast Wisconsin. Just another reason to check out the Veterans Prohibition Ball. And it sounds like a great event. You know, we had a veteran on the other night, Tim, named Jason Moon, who is, you probably know JB Thompson.
I do know JB.
JB's the guy behind the guy. That's what I call him. He sends a lot of guests our way. It's really fun. Conrad, you taking off? Jeez, what is this? He's like trying to get us to slow dance or something. But Jason is a musician and has a group called warriorsongs.org. And they teach veteran healing, encourage healing through music and arts and all that. It's so great. I encourage you to check it out. He was a great guest, wasn't he, Con?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And a very good musician. So, all right. So that sounds great. We'll pitch this one more time before you leave, Tim. But right now, it sounds like, how many tickets are left? How many are you trying to move?
We can take up to 150.
Okay.
So I could still, we're probably just at about 70 right now.
Okay.
So we got some room.
Yeah.
It always makes me nervous. This is what happened last year too. You get a bunch of tickets in the last 2 weeks, but I have to start giving numbers out to my caterer and everybody else on who's coming. And so if you're thinking about it, I'm just telling you, the whole vibe of this is great. Everybody shows up in character, and so it's really easy to do.
Right.
It is. I can tell you, for a guy, all he needs is like put suspenders on and a newspaper hat or something like that, and he looks like you can go get a striped suit at Goodwill. And for the ladies, my wife bought 5 dresses last year from Amazon. It didn't even cost her $125. She turned 3 back in, kept a second one because she knew we'd be doing it a second year. They can get little boas for the hats and stuff like that for their heads, feathers, and it's in today's environment, it's easier for them than the guys to get dressed up.
You know what you should do? You got to have like a speakeasy password. Remember, like in the old movie, they knock on their shave and a haircut?
We're working on that.
Okay.
We're working on that. That Venue 404, if you're listening, Jim, Venue 404, he's the owner, has a alleyway door with actually a cage thing on there. And for 2 years, we've been trying to do that and get them to do that. But, you got to go all the way down to the bowels of the basement and come around, and it comes out into the Vault Speakeasy Bar. And so that would be perfect. But, they worry about insurance, and it's too dark, and they've got a lot of storage and stuff down there from renovating and things like that. But we're working on getting that cleared out so that we, hopefully next year, if we do the same theme, they would have to come up through the alleyway. They'd have to have that password, knock on the door, and then make their way down, just like a real speakeasy. Other than that, you're coming into the front door this year. But
I thought this was really cool because last night we had a Marinette, Wisconsin themed show. Everyone on the show that was a guest had some tie to Marinette. Tonight, it seems like cigars and veterans between you and Norm, and now you got Dan on the stream. It's JB actually.
Yeah, JB.
JB is trying to get some publicity. He's throwing JB under the bus. Maybe it's who knows. Both good guys. Who cares? Great to have you guys with us tonight. And I think so. This is a connection too. And you, like Norm mentioned earlier when he was here, when they do Smoke on the Fox, those benefits go to the Fox Valley Veterans
They sure
Council,
do.
right? That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. I make a lot of connections at the Appleton Cigar Company and up at Prohibition here in Green Bay as well.
Okay.
It's an area where a lot of veterans can go and they can relax.
Yeah.
They can sit down, they can talk, they can, as we say, shoot the shit.
You know what, Tim? I've had about enough of your nonsense. We're on live radio. No, he's a veteran, people. He has a carte blanche. We can look the other way, right, Conrad?
And JB also
Conrad's
I've met
just
there
over
too.
there stewing.
So
Yeah, JB. So let me ask you this, Tim. What can people do if they can't go to this, or they're not veterans themselves, but they want to help veterans or help the cause? What's the best course of action for John Q. Public who wants to do something?
Well, he could become a sponsor.
Okay.
We have sponsorships that are available, and they're on the website, so that's always helpful. If you want to help a veteran for this event, you can sponsor a veteran ticket.
Yeah.
That's on our website. So you can go in and you can actually buy a ticket. If you know a veteran that is willing to go, first of all, they need to be willing to go.
Right.
And they got to do it, right?
Can't
We
force
don't want to
them, yeah.
waste tickets on people who don't show up. And you can buy a ticket for them, and we'll get it to them. Or if you don't know a veteran, we have veterans that are waiting in the wings to receive tickets. And if we get more applications, then we'll do a drawing. If we don't get more applications, then we'll give out the tickets that have been sponsored, and veterans can go for free.
That sounds great. Let's encourage everybody to do that. That's a great way to do it. And can you stick around after a short break? Because I can't let you leave, Tim, without asking you what you're watching on TV, or if you have a favorite military movie.
Sure.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Think about that during the break,
Okay.
We'll read some texts. If you want to get in on the fun, folks, you got a few minutes. What is your favorite animal movie? It's National Pet Day.
National Love Your Pet Day.
Love Your Pet Day.
Yep.
Well, that's implied. If you hate your pets, let us know that too, and let us know why they're such jerks. All right, Tim Cody is here. We're coming right back. We'll have a few more minutes, and we will close this thing down. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Just another night, another vision of love. You feel joy, you feel pain, 'cause nothing will be the same. Just another night, it's all that it takes to understand the difference between lovers and fake. So baby,
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor.
The Todd Alba Show.
Elon Musk putting in so much money that it drowns out other people's voices to decide who our next Supreme Court justice is. Whether or not you're going to vote Republican or Democrat or Schimmel or Crawford, your voice is getting drowned out by Elon Musk, a guy who has no business in Wisconsin. And you don't think that Brad Schimmel is going to be in Elon Musk's pocket? It's going to affect us in Wisconsin.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. The Dom Salvia Show.
Inflation has to go down. How would you suggest your president address that? He's not talking about the cost for Americans. Hell, everything he's doing seems to going to increase the cost for Americans, starting with trade wars with Canada and Mexico. So if there is something positive out of this administration, let me know what it is. I would absolutely give credit where credit is due if I see it.
The Dom Salvia Show. Weekdays from 4 till 6 on the Civic Media Radio Network and on the Civic Media app.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple.
AJ in the 608 says, "Hi, Pete. I love Babe and Homeward Bound equally, but Homeward Bound made me cry every time at the end. I have to see this movie. Have you ever seen Homeward Bound, Tim? It's like from 1993. It's a dog, right, Conrad?
Homework? Yeah, I believe
It's like
it.
a dog.
Yeah,
and
yep.
I gotta see that.
Dog that got lost and made his way back.
Probably.
Yeah.
AJ says, a good kind of cry. Bridget from the 818 says, I loved the movie Babe. Great memory movie. Did it win an Oscar? I just looked that up, Bridget, during the break. It did win an Oscar for Best Visual Effects. So there you go. It's still an Oscar. And JB, or we're up to our stream text as well. It's either Dan or JB texting. We don't know who's throwing who under the bus. Tim Cody is here. He is the president of the Fox Valley Veterans Council. And they have a great event coming up on March 7th. We'll make one more push here. They still have tickets, folks, and it's for such a great cause. It's at Venue 404 in Oshkosh. The cost of admission gets you in, and there are no other expenses. It's all you can eat, drink, comedy show. What else, Tim? What
Casino
else
games, jazz, swing music. Just a really good time. And
Yeah.
there'll be prizes, by the way. We have some really nice
Right.
prizes. We've got signed football from Brett Favre. We got a signed another signed football coming in. We've got some jerseys. We've got some Packer swag. We've got some good bourbon that's going to be given out. That's going to be for probably from the casino game winners.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you need me to sign a football to auction?
Sure.
Well, I got a Nerf in the car. Let's do this.
Let's do
right?
that.
Why don't you sign the hat and then give
The toque? No way, man. This does not leave my head. Tim, so as you know, you've been here before. We talk movies and TV a lot on the show. Do you have, you're in the military for 28 years, proud Army veteran.
Correct.
Are you still?
Am I still
Or
a
are you
veteran?
retired?
I'm still.
No,
I'm
you're
retired.
still a veteran, but are you?
Yeah.
Okay, you're retired. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite military movie?
It'd have to be probably Private Ryan for World War II. That was great. I loved it. The realism, great actors. If you look back in there, it's funny. I didn't realize it when I first saw it, but now you look back and you see how many actors got their start in there. All those young kids got their start. That's really cool. I love American Sniper. I really attached to that because I was over in Iraq during that time frame when he was actually doing that stuff. I was working on. I don't know if you remember the scene where he was going after the sniper and they were building T-walls. T-walls were the big cement walls that you saw them putting up. The engineers were putting them up, and an Iraqi sniper was trying to take the engineers out. I actually had to work on the contract for those T-walls to get them.
Oh, wow.
There's a little thing called whether it's a system or an individual thing. That T-wall itself is an individual hunk of concrete. There's an argument being made when you connect it, it creates a system, and then that's a whole different color of money to use, and we didn't have that color of money in Iraq to use.
Huh.
So I had to fight to get that so we could put those T-walls up and argue that these are individual and this is not a system that we're paying for because it was millions of dollars of concrete, right?
So that gave you kind of more of a connection to that movie in a weird way.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, he and I were over there at the same time. I was actually in Ramadi when he was also in Ramadi and Fallujah and then in Sadr City area. So I didn't know him. I've never met him, but anything that during the time periods where I served, you just kind of connect and you can.
Oh, Chris
relate.
Kyle. I was thinking this was the Mark Wahlberg. This is the Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Played Chris Kyle,
Chris
who was
Kyle.
a famous American sniper.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I have not seen that one. I saw the Mark Wahlberg one, and then the TV show with Ryan Felipe that is not that great. But so Saving Private Ryan though would probably be your top.
It's great. Saving Private Ryan is great. Yeah.
That first 20 minutes of that film, this is me in my chair, like it's so real looking. It's horrible.
It's very rare. It shows the horror of combat and just what somebody experiences as they're watching it happen in front of them, right?
Absolutely.
And but not in a grotesque way and not glorifying
Not
it either.
overly gratuitous, just like showing them.
It's just showing it shows real courage, real heroes. There's not the stupid unlimited clip of ammunition that never ends. People shooting from their hips, and knocking people out.
Pistols like
right.
that, right?
And never getting shot themselves.
That is the worst, and that's why, like, I like the show Reacher, but my God, like, there's 10 guys shooting at him. He's 20 feet away. It's like, I know he's strong, but come on. It's just sort of ridiculous. Are those the kind of movies you typically like, Tim, or what else have you seen that you could recommend, or a TV show or anything like that?
I like all kinds. I mean, I loved Yellowstone. I love the Yellowstone area. I remember when Sopranos first came out in HBO.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first version of that type of TV show. Really.
Yeah.
Right. It took a mini series and it extended it. And if you see, almost every show copies that. Right. They have a cool hunk of music in the beginning to introduce.
Yeah.
Every single show does the exact
Succession.
same. Yep.
Yellowstone. Right.
They all do it. Right.
Yeah.
And they have the, so I like those. What have I? Other things I watched? Lioness. Of course, that's another military.
Good one too,
That was a really good one.
Yeah.
I just finished Agency, which is really good.
I just finished that too. I like that too. Kind of started slow, and then it got pretty
better.
good.
Yeah.
Tim, this was really fun. Thank you. Don't be a stranger. Before you do your next event, please let us know. And good luck on the 7th. It's a great event. Go to foxvalleyveterans.org/ball. Find out more information about this cool event. And it's for a great cause. And keep up the great work, my friend.
Thank you. And thanks for having me on. Appreciate
Anytime.
it.
Great having you in the studio. Thank you also to Norm Kopesky. All your texts and calls, great when you guys are part of the show. On behalf of the lovable producer, Conrad, I'm Pete Schwaba saying good night, Wisconsin.
I'll take you to your best friend's house. Marmalade, we're making out. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.